Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela.
This is Welcome to Livingston, where we talk all about Livingston County, businesses in Livingston County. And we are so excited today. We have Kevin Johnston with us from Optishot Golf Simulators. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Welcome, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks so much. Good afternoon. Great to be here.
No, we're really excited to have you in here and learn a lot about golf simulators. So I guess, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your company, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. We've actually been in Livingston County now and in Brighton since 1999. We moved in here.
Wow.
We were in a different industry at the time, and we've evolved over the years through thick and thin, crashes and growth, and crashes and growth. And we're very fortunate to have the opportunity to run Optishot Golf and be located right here in Brighton.
So, and what got you into golf simulators then?
I was very fortunate. I was in the steel industry for a number of years, ran steel plants all over North America, and we decided to go out on our own, raised a bit of capital. 2008, 2009 came along, the world turned sideways, and we just evolved. We re-raised some capital again, gotten some energy products, and then I was down in Pikeville, Kentucky, running coal mines for a period of time, if you can believe it. And one of my good friends, again, building the network in here in Brighton, Bob Grant, said to me, hey, there's a golf company in Maumee, Ohio. They're looking for a number 2 guy. You'd be a perfect fit. I went and interviewed the CEO at the time, and I just got along famously. We tried to acquire that company, almost got a deal done, couldn't get a deal done, and then we disbanded the group, the team, and I came to Optishot, brought some of my guys back, and the Castle family, who I ran their steel plants, is my chief investor in this venture. So that was 2012. We made that acquisition. So it's been a whirlwind since. So very fortunate.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is very cool. So if someone is, they're golfing a little bit and such, and they're like,
Sure.
I've never been on a simulator. I want to try this out, and then or maybe I want one in my house. How does someone get started? What's the whole process?
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. We always say, obviously, we hope that Optishot is your choice when you're going out to make that kind of decision. But if you're going to get better in golf, you need access to technology. And it doesn't have to be a lot of data, but a little data just to help your game and help you understand when things get sideways, how do you get yourself back on track? So it all comes down to a couple of different components: the size of the room, obviously, that you're working with, and what you can put in that space. Obviously, budget, and then what kind of feature sets you're looking at. In golf simulation, there's 2 components. There's club and ball data, and either you can measure both of those, or you can calculate one or calculate the other. We've been very fortunate to come into the marketplace with calculated club data on our swing pad. That's kind of our bread and butter product, and over the years we've kind of evolved into 3 other technologies. We always kind of compare ourselves to like BMW. We have a 1 series, a 5 series, a 7 series, depending on what features you want and obviously what your budget is.
Got you. And I was watching a video on your website today that was showing a setup on one of those impact screen ones.
Right.
So, that looked really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting how that piece is taken off for us. It kind of gives everybody the multimedia room, and if one of the spouses is not on board, we always try to push the multimedia room to watch movies.
More versatile that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Twist a little bit of arms here and there, and it gives everybody a great space to bring the family together. And to be honest with you, it's a great family experience, especially if you're just starting off in golf and you want to feel comfortable and not have to go to a driving range or stand on that first tee, which can be nerve-wracking, as we all know. Having one in your basement or your garage or your office gives you that little bit of comfort to get comfortable swinging a golf club.
Got you. So what's the minimum space you need?
Yeah, so in the perfect environment, 15 feet wide, 20 feet deep, and 10 feet high. Now, we can squeeze it down. We have our Golf in a Box series. We have one in our home. It's one of the Golf in a Box series. My wife, Kaylin, hits on it regularly. 11 o'clock at night, I can hear her say, there's another good shot. So I get less sleep now.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah,
she's very good.
Yeah, she's pretty intense about it. So there's a lot of flexibility, but that's the perfect ideal space. And then depending on how tight the room is, we can get pretty creative.
Okay. Well, that's good. So some people, you're looking at garage spaces then, because the way I think about it, it's that, swing and stopping it before you hit the ceiling.
Exactly right. So again, the space is how comfortable you are swinging a golf club. And we always say it's just important to have the immersiveness of it all. We don't want to put you in a situation where you feel you're not going to swing your full edge outdoors. Obviously, it's simulation, so we're trying to recreate that the best we can with the software, and obviously the space and the environment is important as well.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
now, I do want to ask in terms of the balls. Are they plastic? Are they foam?
Yeah, terrific. So depending on the technology, at the core, our base technology is you can play with foam golf balls, you can play with your Callaway golf balls, or you can tell the technology no golf ball. and it adjusts for the smash factor, and you can just play. Like I guess pre-COVID, when we were traveling quite a bit, I would carry one of my swing pads in my backpack. And when you get into the hotel room, you can plug HDMI into the TV with your laptop and just hit wedges with no golf ball just to get your swing down.
I got
it's
you.
Fascinating, really
Wow.
fascinating. And then all the way up at the other end, it's a permanently mounted ceiling system. And that's where the price point jumps up quite substantially, and you can get all your club and measured club and ball data with that.
And how is the technology? I mean, how accurate is it?
Yeah, it's terrific. So again, that's the whole measured versus calculated, right? So at the pure end, you're measuring club and you're measuring ball, and you're doing that with high-speed cameras. So we have two pieces of technology that does that. And then at the entry level, again, at a different price point, we're measuring club data very, very well, and we're calculating ball data. So for the average golfer, do you really need to know what your spin rate is with a 9-iron in your hand? Probably not. You want to see direction, and you want to be able to recreate that direction. You want to improve your distance.
Right.
And that's why the entry-level product for us, our Optishot 2 simulator, has done so well.
Well, that's very cool.
Great.
Because I go out to the range and such.
Sure.
And, sometimes I'm at the range and I'll hit on the pad.
Yep.
And the pad has really good shots. And then I
Sure.
go off the pad and my shots aren't as good.
Correct.
I mean, how does, in a simulator, does it catch when you're bouncing off the pad, or how does all that work?
Yeah, sure. So for most golfers, the most difficult thing is path, right? It's like, what is the path of your club doing when it disappears behind your head?
Okay.
You just kind of lose it, right? Myself included. I didn't grow up golfing. I was a soccer and hockey player as a Canadian. So when that club gets above your head, what's happening?
Yeah.
Right. And so that's very difficult. So the good news is about the technology space is it shows you club path and it shows you face angle. So whether you open, closed, whether you hit it in the center of the club, you hosel it off the heel, or you hit it off the toe. So having that little bit of data that says, wow, that's why I'm doing that, helps you become more repeatable in the golf swing.
Right. So it gives you that consistency.
Exactly right.
Right.
Exactly right. There's nothing like hitting outdoors, 100%. Obviously, you love to see ball flight, but in the climates we live in, it's nice to have something to go to in the middle of the summer just to keep everything a little tighter than you typically would.
Right. So the one question I've always had, because of that impact screen.
Yeah.
So where the ball hits on the impact screen has nothing to do with it. It's going across the pad, right?
Yeah. So again, 3 pieces of technology. Across the pad is our first technology. So that's getting you club data. So there's infrared lights. It goes across. It's very accurate. Open, close, toe, center, heel, and obviously your club head speed and your tempo of your club. And then we jump up to cameras, and in that situation, the cameras are looking at the ball, basically in the kill box, and your club at impact. And then we have overhead system, which is a 2-camera configuration, and in that situation, you're getting measured and calculated ball data as well.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
That's impressive.
Yeah, really, really impressive. Yeah.
Now, as someone purchases one, starts using one regularly,
Sure.
What kind of impact does it have on their game?
Yeah, I'll go back to my days when I first was at the other golf simulator company. I used to go in at lunch because I had a hockey swing. I was a hockey player, so I slap shotted the puck around. Now I just go in and I can tell the story. My VP of sales came back, and he hadn't seen me. He was on the road for like 6 or 7 months. He comes back, goes, "What happened to you?" I said, "I came into a simulator." Right, because it just gives you that ability to see visually what you're doing wrong. At the higher end, we actually show the vision of your club going through the ball at impact, which is very, it helps retain information. And it's a very difficult sport because there's so many moving parts, and how much can you really think about in those couple of seconds when you're swinging a golf club? Not many.
Yeah.
Right.
So we always come back to it. The data's all out there, right? You have to find the 1 or 2 swing thoughts that helps you be repeatable and enjoy the game the way you can.
Well, because you can go out and you can get a lesson, and that person is there helping you right there.
Sure.
But when on your simulator, you're getting that data
All the time.
all the
practice.
time.
All the time.
Because I remember I went out to, when I first started golfing, and I had a lesson, and he said, "You played baseball." And I'm like,
Right.
he's like, "You're moving your front foot. You're,
Exactly.
Step
Step it into it.
Right.
Step it into it. Yeah, looking for that triple.
Yeah.
Problem is a triple in golf is out of bounds left.
Exactly right.
Sure.
Exactly right. So we've complemented our technology. We have a thing called the Optishot Academy, which is an app on your phone, and it's a full set of lessons, right? So for a very low $7 a month, you can jump in and get lessons from a couple of local pros here.
Wow.
Chad Elledge, whose brother's a member here at Oak Point, Brett,
Right.
and Ben. Ben is our other pro that has done a fantastic job with us. Yeah.
That's
How
very
cool, because everybody has their phones with them all the time.
Exactly. And they really taught taught it for not being a golfer. It really for the person that wants to understand what the opportunity is when you swing a club over your head, what's going to happen when you bring it back down. They've done a fantastic job with the app.
Wow.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed on there looking online is you get a couple different courses just in the base package to choose from.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the way we've packaged it up. You never pay for software upgrades with us. Once you're a customer of ours, it's free upgrades for life. And then if you want to include the Pebble Beaches and the St. Andrews of the world, you can add those on at your leisure. So yeah,
right.
Very popular.
So play St. Andrews from your home here in Brighton.
Exactly. and we continue to add courses to the lineup every month, which is fantastic for the consumer. And we have a thing called the Season Pass program where you can play in live tournaments. So we have live tournaments in parallel with the PGA and LPGA stops.
Wow.
So you can jump in a tournament on Thursday, play people from around the world. We give away swag and wedges and those sort of things. And that's just, it's a really good opportunity for connectivity, especially in the 2 years we've just gone through as a country and a globe. Being able to play people while you're in the comfort of your home has been a big deal for us.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you like going back and forth shots or how does that work?
So it's just basically you go into the tournament when you want to go into the tournament. If you're in the East Coast, you go in at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning before you go to work. Sometimes it's just closest to the pin. So we'll just have a close to the pin tournament. You get 3 golf balls, bang away your 3 golf balls, and then wait and see how the results. And we have leaderboards and all those things that make the competitive juices flow that we're always looking for. So
cool.
Yeah, really, really fun.
So another thing I was going to ask, if you have a golf simulator at your house and you have friends over,
Sure.
Can you do like multiplayer?
Yeah. You can play up to 8 people in the tournament into the simulator at one time and play full round of golf course. Just go to the driving range. Some of our higher end systems have really cool games for the kids, so you can hit the balloon flying across the middle of the screen.
Oh my gosh!
Target the lions out in the middle of the fairway. Those
Wow.
sort of things. Yeah. So it's I think in this day and age, much like everybody's heard how much growth Peloton had, we kind of rode that carpet a little bit. We're very blessed to be in the golf space. The growth has been substantial. It's obviously the natural social distancing, unfortunately, the way the world's gone.
Right.
And we've been very fortunate enough to be able to fill a little bit of a void and hopefully bring a little bit of happiness and entertainment to people.
Well, that is awesome. Right. So I'm assuming then during COVID, your phone started ringing off the hook saying, I can't get out on a course. I need a simulator.
Yeah, it was a bizarre time, to be honest with you. As we all went through, I just didn't know what the world was going to be and how it was going to materialize. And, very lucky we were just in the right industry at the right time for us. So we just continue to add products to the lineup. We have new tech coming out this year, which is going to be fun. And I got a really good team behind me. Just a good bunch of people. Our oldest son runs sales for me. Chase, my wife, Kaylin and Beckham helped me do all the events. We did the U.S. Open last year with Anheuser-Busch, some of our partners, and we got just a really good team. Yeah,
wow,
really good team.
That is very cool. And how does putting work?
So you can putt in the simulator. It's a little different. Everybody always says putting in simulators is goofy, but I'll tell you the one thing again, as a non-golfer, when I came into the industry, I know what 14-foot putt feels like. I know what a 30-foot putt feels like. I don't need to see it; I can feel it.
Right.
And I think, to be honest with you, and this is probably a little biased, but I'm a better putter because I know what 30-foot putt feels like just by the draw on my putter.
Right.
Now, you don't get the break and all those things that go along with it, obviously outdoors, but you can fully putt in all 3 of our technologies.
Right. So you feel the distance, which is the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that on a simulator, that might be one of the biggest impacts because, I go out there and you have other people going, well, I'm going to pull out my 145 club. Well, if I'm on a simulator, I get a much better idea of what that is, I bet.
Sure, exactly right. And you want to know why, like you'll hit a bad shot on the driving range. You take your 7-iron in and maybe you're 150 with a good 7-iron.
Right.
And maybe it goes 120. Probably 9 times out of 10, the person won't know why that only went 120. The good news about the simulator is it's going to tell you why, right? Either your club head speed was down, you hit it off the toe, right? One of those things.
Right.
Your path was wrong. You're inside out or outside in, depending on what your path swing looks like. And those are a couple data points you just need, right, to help you be repeatable.
Oh, that's very cool.
That makes perfect sense because we see the results, but we don't know how it got to that. And unless we have a pro standing right there going
all the time.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Well, I was just telling you before we got started, I went and golfed 18 holes yesterday.
Sure.
And my driver was amazing. And they're like, oh, you're doing great today. And I'm like, I have no idea, but just keep going.
Exactly. So getting into a simulator in that environment, right, and getting that groove, as they say, or in the slot, then you can say, okay, this is why I'm doing it. My club head speed's this. This is what my path looks like. And how do I repeat that?
Right.
Yeah, how do you repeat that?
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So if someone wants to get started, what's What's a baseline package look like versus moving their way up?
Yeah, so our Golf in a Box series has been kind of our biggest seller over the last couple of years. And you started a Golf in a Box series for basically $950, so just under $1,000. And you get technology, you get the hitting mat, and you get a net. And you go all the way up to Golf in a Box 2, 3, 4, and 5. And at the top end at 5, you're spending $5,000, but you're getting a retractable screen, technology, the mat, and a projector for that $5,000. And then you take the leap up to the next technology after that, and that's our ball flight technology, and that retails for $6,000 just for the tech. Right. And then we have what we call our Vision, which is your overhead permanent installation, and that retails for $9,500. And then you can build your bundles and custom rooms. So we're a design build house. We'll go into any environment, commercial or residential. And if it's a new build, we'll work with the architect. If it's a retrofit, we'll come in and say this is what we think we can do. And again, we really push the fact that it can be a multi-purpose room for anybody looking to add that to their home.
Right. So then it's the theater room.
Correct. Exactly.
That doubles as move the chairs and let's play some golf.
Exactly right. Yeah, and it becomes a really good environment for the family, right?
Right.
And hitting golf balls can be a lot of fun.
Which, the nice part with Michigan is that we have basements, and so much of the nation doesn't.
Exactly right.
That we may as well use that space for. Whether
multi-purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. We added the retractable screen here in the last 24 months, so it retracts and it sits on the rails in your garage as well. So if you wanted to put one in your garage, it can retract up.
Okay.
If you can believe it, like Texas is a big customer base for us because it gets so hot down there all the time.
That's
right?
true.
It's really interesting how big of a customer base that is for us.
So they're going into their simulator in the summer.
Yeah,
versus
when it's 104 and your 3-iron flies out of your hand.
Right. Yeah. So I'm assuming a lot of people then are looking at their garages because that's where they have that space, right?
Yeah, and it has to be multi-purpose, right? You can't put a permanent simulator in there. Or you can't park a car in there. So that's why we came up with the retractable screen model. We've had a couple good partners there. It's just been a really strong product for us.
Very cool.
Excellent. Very versatile that way. And so that way it can still...
We always, you're in the real estate business, right? When a customer walks through the door, you want to take all the stucks away, right? And it's always for us is, okay, what's your budget? What's the room size? What feature sets? And I think we've done that with the lineup to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we've seen people are starting to look for this kind of stuff where they didn't a couple of years ago.
Right. I would think so.
So, we had everyone loved the open concept.
Yep.
Now they don't want it because they can hear everybody in the house all the time.
That's right. Everybody wants some privacy.
Yeah.
They want some living
Privacy.
24/7 on top of
Exactly.
each other.
We talked to people that, their
That's
office
funny.
was in the corner of the kitchen or the dining room.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they want the multimedia room. They want the pool table.
den.
They want the den.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And they want the golf simulator too because, if you're working from home, what better thing
Take a break.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go shoot 9. It takes me half an hour and I'm back.
Yeah. It's amazing. We're fortunate enough to have a great space on Hilton Road there. And how many times my guys are on calls and they're hitting wedges while they're on the phone call. So earbuds and they're all set. So.
Well, that is very cool. So do people usually, do they come in? Do you have like a showroom that you show them at? And then?
Yeah. Again, very fortunate. And I use the word blessed quite a bit, but we've been partnered with Oak Point for years now. So we have the academy up there with the 3 bays.
Yep.
So we can show all our technology. That's a good relationship. They let the members get a good place to go in the middle of the winter, obviously. So we use that. And then we have a showroom now on Hilton Road in the Duncan Chiropractor building with one of our big, what we call our Optishot 360s. So that's a complete design build. And customers come in. We do a lot of FaceTime stuff nowadays. So we just put them on FaceTime. Our guys are going to hit the simulator and let people see the feature sets.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's just the global need for in-home solutions at this point has just grown, obviously, exponentially.
Right.
Heaven forbid that we have to go through something else like this again, but I think people want to be prepared. So.
No, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and bring some sanity to everybody's life, as crazy as it's
right.
been, so, yeah.
It seems like people don't necessarily want to leave their houses so much anymore, that they want a house that's going to fit their lifestyle.
Exactly right.
And any of the entertainment that they can have right there.
Exactly
inside
right.
for the convenience.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
Yeah, so, and I know you've said you've seen it grow over the years. So what's the most popular one that people are buying right now from you guys?
If I had to look at it by units, it's probably our Golf in a Box 4. So that's our full enclosure, full screen, Golf in a Box 4, which gives you, again, the mat, the enclosure, the technology, and the projector. And again, you're under $5,000 for that product. And it's a really good product, yeah. And, with all the e-commerce nowadays, you can finance it in 4 easy payments. You can do all those necessary things. and have a world-class experience. Playing
Right.
courses, playing the tournaments, playing the driving range.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on those, that's not with the impact screen and the
Correct.
enclosure.
Yep.
They're hitting their real Callaway balls
100%.
into that.
Yep. Yep. But the kids at my office that are all in their 20s have no spine, so their club head speed's faster than most Ferraris. And
Oh
they
my gosh.
bang away in there. Yeah, it's fantastic
Wow.
technology. Yeah.
That is just amazing.
Yeah. We have a great partner that helps us with those enclosures domestically, which is great. So, yeah.
That is very cool.
Now, do you see seasonality as it gets into the
Yeah.
winter? Is
Sure.
that kind of the high time for you? Or?
Yeah, obviously seasonality, definitely. The fourth quarter is obviously the bread and butter quarter for us as everybody gets into the holiday season. Father's Day is big for us
Right,
now,
I was gonna ask
obviously.
since that's coming up.
Yeah, it's a good compliment for all the husbands that have all the ties and all the necessarily, khaki shorts they've ever had. In their life. So we push hard in this period of time. The event business, again, pre-COVID was very important for us as a company. It was a great brand accelerator. We've been very fortunate to partner with companies like Glenmorangie and Anheuser-Busch and Cadillac. Rocket Mortgage is a big partner for us now, so we're very fortunate. And we use the summer months to promote the brand, right? Get out there, press the flesh where we can, and show people that simulation is real. Like you can really have an enjoyable opportunity, and you don't have to spend $50,000 to do it. I think that's the way we've positioned the brand here in the last couple of years.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm assuming that years ago, as the technology wasn't there yet, people had a different opinion than now. You talk to people, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to try a simulator," but then they try it out, and it's completely different than what they think it is.
Yeah, it's a little bit Kool-Aid drinking. Once you're like, wow, I can do this, and I can do this in my own home or my office. It's once you get someone in it to try it, it's a very hands-on situation. It's like test driving a car, right? Everybody knows what a car feels like until you drive that car that's really cool. And you're like, wow, this is something that something I want to be able to have available to myself and my family.
Wow.
And to your point, with kids, and a great way for them to practice and for the whole family to get involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As a quote unquote as an ex-athlete, I'll say that loosely at this point in my age category, but no one's playing pickup basketball or tackle football with you anymore. So golf is the only juice left. So I'm fortunate enough we're able to play it, and being able to get a little better at it with simulation, I think is important.
Right. And I didn't even think of that with the games with the kids and everything, that if you're hitting the balloons going across the screen and such.
Exactly.
I mean, even for us,
Right.
that must be fun to try to do.
Exactly right. Exactly right. We've I don't want to get off too much topic, but we have 2 hunting simulators now we've brought to market in the last couple of years, and it's the same thing, right? Very, very interesting piece of the industry that I don't know much about, to be honest about it, when we got into it, but the technology is unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Well, yeah, with the online gaming and everything getting so big, this is actually active at the same time. So you're doing your real swing, which is what I like about it.
Exactly right. There's no cheat here. This is a full golf club, your full bag. You can putt, chip, and drive into the simulator.
And now if someone comes to your house, do they have to set up their clubs, or how does that work?
Yeah, so calibration is always important. You don't need to. Right out the gate, you can get your club data, but if you really want to dial them in, it's good to go through a short calibration if you're going to have someone coming over regularly to enjoy the experience.
Got you. And is it easy to switch left-handed, right-handed, that sort of thing?
Yeah. Left hand, right hand. We actually came out with a new piece of turf where the simulator sits in the cutout in the middle. It's called a center strike for that very reason.
Okay.
If you can believe it, Canada's one of the highest left-handed golfers because of the hockey up there.
Oh,
my home country. So we sell a lot of center strikes up in that part of the market,
Got you.
part of the globe.
That is very cool.
Yeah, that's something people don't necessarily think about, but for left-handers, it's,
Yeah.
Some of the tech is face on. It sits on the floor, so if it's that tech they purchase, it makes it a little difficult in terms of moving it back and forth, especially if you've got a family with multiple left, right hands.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I find it always interesting because I'm a lefty golfer. And
Yeah, right.
I'm still waiting for my driver that I purchased 5 weeks ago. So one more week.
Is it?
So
the supply chain, that's another discussion.
Yeah.
We might need another segment.
there you go.
Honest
There
to
you go.
goodness. Have you guys been grappling okay with that?
Oh, if I ever write a book, it's going to call lily pad management. You wake up in the morning and think the truck's getting here or the train's on track, and it goes to hell in a handbasket before noon most days. Lily pad management. It's just, we've changed suppliers, partnered with other partners. It's been, if there's one thing that just kind of blows your mind, that's the supply chain. Is whatever they tell you, it's 10 times worse than what people tell you.
Right.
And we're a small company, so being able to manage that has been a challenge.
Wow.
Certainly for our clients doing home improvements, that's definitely been
We had a
exciting.
client that was cooking on hot pads for 5 weeks
Oh boy. Yeah.
because they couldn't get the appliances.
pads,
They just weren't coming.
Yeah. Yeah, my problem is I don't know where it changes. Like, where's the end of the road?
Right.
Where this is going to be a normal scenario.
Just
So.
you're getting really good at this dynamic way of things, right?
Exactly. And dynamic's the best way to describe it. We are bringing technology back to North America. We're going to build our next product in Canada because that's where our partner's out of. So I'm excited about that. I think that's an important piece for us. The more I can do inside the North American border, I think the better off we'll all be.
Right.
Right. Now, what is the next piece? Like, what comes next?
Yeah.
Okay, if it's top secret, that's
A
fine
little bit
too.
of top secret. Yeah. So
No
it's coming
worries.
very, 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 very soon.
Cool.
So, yeah. So we're really, really excited about it. It's been a long time in the making. The testing is a process in itself. And when you add software and coding and all those things that go along with
my
it,
goodness,
most of the time my eyes glass over, but it's pretty cool. We're pretty excited about it.
Awesome.
It's exciting that you're constantly continuing to improve.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of it sounds like such an outstanding experience anyway, but to always have something
That's
new
exactly
to bring
right.
to market.
Exactly right. I use the word pivot. I think it's been used a lot now, and that's how we are. That's how we describe our business. We're pivot. We all do multiple tasks. We're not just single source people inside the organization. We're a small team, and you have to be able to pivot and do different things and become that Swiss Army knife to be
Right.
to give the customer a really good experience. You know, our cell phone numbers are on our website. We think it's important. We talk to customers when we can. And it's usually a great experience, even if they've had a problem with, setting it up or calibration. Once they have a chance to speak to someone and walk them through the process, it's usually a great experience.
Got you. So that comes to the question. So Angela was booking you on the show.
Yeah.
And I said, you're not allowed to have a guy doing golf simulators on the show and not have me think about getting a golf simulator.
All right.
So for all of those golfers out there that, they haven't used one before,
Yep.
how do they get started? How do they contact you? What's the steps here?
Yeah, so I think the easiest way is just to shoot me an email at kevin@optishotgolf.com. We'll give you a call. If we're local, we'll set up one of our sales guys. We have distributors all over the globe. So it's kevin@optishotgolf.com. And obviously, we think we can give you all the answers you're looking for in terms of what solution you're looking for as well.
Great. And we're going to include that in the show notes and
Perfect.
make sure that that's there. And I always want to make sure with each episode that we always ask our guests, what's your favorite part about Livingston?
Oh, that's a perfect question. It's the word community is not used enough here, right? We have a son with special needs, Beckham.
Yeah.
We just went through some legal guardianship with him, even though we're the biological parents. And walking into Livingston County Probate Court and knowing of the 5 people in the room that were authorities, we knew 5 of them. We knew. We just know people.
Wow.
We know people in the community. It's been a world-class education. As a Canadian, I was a bit of a snob when I came to Brighton. Honestly, I thought the Canadian education was much better. But Brighton school systems, the Greg Grays of the world, the Lisa Carpenters of the world, Diane Campbell, I can go on and on. All the people that have touched Beckham and made a difference for him and us as a family is second to none. Yeah, that's why we live in
He's
Brighton.
such a sweetie.
Yeah.
And you guys
He
do
is.
such a great job with
Yeah,
him.
it's we won't leave here. Maybe for the winter, but we won't leave here for at least the rest of the time.
Well, because it's home,
It's
right?
home. Yeah.
And that's why we created this podcast, is because we really focus it on all things Livingston County.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And
I love it.
each week, it's a half an hour and promoting small business
Yeah, I
and
love
the
it.
fun things to do around.
Yeah, it's excellent. You guys have done a fantastic
Well,
job.
Thank you so much. And, I would tell everyone out there to check out your website, optishotgolf.com.
Right.
If you're Oak Point members, head over to the Academy and check out the bays in there. I know a lot of people get a lot of use out of them during the
great.
winter. I'm going to admit I have not gotten over there, so now that's on my list here in the
There
next
you go.
week or two.
That's a little bucket list.
Yes, it is. That's a very
that's an
easy bucket
easy
list.
one.
It's an easy one. Plug that in on a Thursday afternoon.
That's right.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, it's excellent.
It could. Well, thank you so much for coming. We've learned a lot about it. Did you have any other questions?
Yeah. No, is there anything that we forgot to make sure to mention?
No, it's excellent. You guys did a great job. I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you so much. Check us out on Spotify, Sounder. Go to our website, welcometolivingston.com. You can hit the podcast button and check out this episode or any of the other ones. And just thank you for coming today. And thank you, everyone, for listening. So welcome
Welcome to
Livingston.
Livingston.